And hi familia. I never know if these videos have started yet because it says that it's starting and like buffering. Okay, now it says I'm live. Hi there. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good sleep and some good dreams. And if you don't have dreams or don't remember your dreams, then reach out to me because I have lots of experience with dreams and maybe I can help you. Also, it's day 14 here of Kirtan Kriya for 40 days. Today's theme is Fortitude. And if you missed yesterday's theme, I think yesterday's theme was collaboration. And I had a call to action. I asked that if you're watching this video, reach out to me and let's schedule a time together in person or through Zoom so that I can teach Kirtan Kriya to you. These videos are great, but I need more interaction live, face-to-face with people because I want to be a teacher. So I need some experience. And you'd be doing me a great favor if you're willing to just spend about 20 minutes of your time with me to learn this 12-minute meditation. Okay? So please reach out. Now, before we get started with the Kriya today, I'm going to speak a little bit about Fortitude, today's theme. This one's fun. I mean, they've all been fun. I've been having a lot of fun lately. So, Fortitude, according to dictionary.com, it says fortitude is the mental and emotional strength in facing difficulty, adversity, danger, or temptation courageously. I think that's so beautiful. Now, let's see. If you don't know the word courageously, this is a fun word to break down. Cur in Latin means heart, and age, A-G-E, means time, which is similar to English. You know, we have age. So when you put cur and age together, what do you get? You get heart time, or time of the heart. And that is what courage is. It's facing your fears with heart, with fortitude and resilience. So let's see. Let's break down this word fortitude for a second. I got fort and tude. We all know what a tude is because we've all got one or we met somebody who's got one, right? But what's a fort? A fort is like it's like a big, strong building. And some of you might not like the idea of like a fort, like a fortress, because it conjures up images of war. So I'm going to go ahead and say, like, let's think of our fortress as more like a fortress of peace and love and harmony and solitude. A fortress of acceptance and gratitude and loving kindness. Let's make that in our mind. Let's make our mind a fortress of love. An attitude of love and strength. There's this concept that I've heard before about the warrior sage, right? Warrior not in the sense of being like a killer, but being strong and powerful, and sage in the sense of being like graceful and wise and courageous. So today we're going to talk about fortitude. We're going to cultivate some fortitude. And this sadhana, the daily practice, doing these meditations and more, doing a lot more. It's more than meditation. Meditation is just one tool in the toolbox, but I think it needs a little bit more notoriety around here. So I'm here to spread the message. So let's see. And in spreading this message, I'm going to share a few passages from Guru Singh's book, the one that I shared with you yesterday. Is this one, Buried Treasures, The Journey from Where You Are to Who You Are by Guru Singh. And let's see, yesterday I was telling you that he had a near-death experience because basically his appendix ruptured when he was 20 years old, and he died for nearly 2 minutes, a minute and 45 seconds. His heart stopped beating, and his kidneys shut down, all of his organs shut down. And in that time, he traveled to a celestial realm where he spoke with God consciousness. And he said in this realm it seemed like an eternity, but on Earth it had only been 1 minute and 45 seconds. And so in the book, he describes the conversations that he had with these beings, and it's man, it's so moving. And I thought I would share something, because when we talk about fortitude, this relates, because fortitude is a mental capacity, and these like star beings, this God consciousness, was talking to him about his mental capacity and how he has the power to change his life if he can find the fortitude to change his mind. So he says, I underlined a few passages here. I hope you can hear me. It's a little windy out here today. So I've just underlined some things. He says, without being in the heart, life is cold. The dreams in your heart are your home. And man, do I feel that in my strange dreams. And let's see. They say, you must learn to be free from your slavery. And Guru Singh replies, I'm not a slave. And they respond, well, when you live and act in fear, that is slavery. Guru Singh says, are you kidding? Fear and doubt are just a part of life. They respond, call it what you want. Being a servant to those feelings is a long way from freedom. You can realize that you are the one who feels your feelings, and you get to choose how you feel if you find out how to do this. Feelings are feelings, Guru Singh argues. How am I supposed to choose them? The beings respond, first of all, by believing that you can, then giving yourself the authority to do so. Ooh. Of course, Guru Singh responds, that's not possible. And then they go on. They respond, it is whatever you make of it. Emotions and feelings are meant to be tools for life, not the rules for life. They can be physically powerful and seem very real, but they are only memories, opinions, and frames of the mind woven together. Use them to build or destroy your moments of time. These are the seeds that contain your dreams. Feelings are not to be honored, they are to be honed. A carpenter does not worship his hammer, he uses it as a tool. It is true, the tools of feeling are helpful, oftentimes essential, but they are not to be worshipped or blindly followed. Since they are not your masters, do not be their slave. Wow. So good. For such a long time, I feel I have been a slave to my emotions. I don't know, can you all relate? There's been a time where I've tried to get in touch with my emotions and express myself raw, feeling. And actually, that's good. I like to feel my emotions full potency. And then also to not live in them and to let them move through me and to let them teach and show me something and to let them go. You know, I don't think that we should ignore our emotions, and that's not what he's saying here. Emotions are an extremely valuable tool, but they're only a tool, right? And we do have the power to change our mind, to change our emotions. You know, emotions are temporary, but a mood is more stable, and so mood can affect our life in a lot of ways if we're not conscious of it, you know? So if you're in a poor mood, if you're depressed, or you know, you're emotionally unstable, then I think it's important to know that there's hope, that you can change with the power of your mind. You can change your attitude, and that's helpful, but you can also set your sights on realistic goals that will help you to feel better, you know? A lot of times these emotions, they don't come out of nowhere, you know? We feel them for a reason. We have intuition and feelings to help guide us, and when we get sort of disconnected from that is when we start to run into trouble. So I've underlined a few more things here that I thought were super powerful. The beings, they ask him, do you want to live because you are afraid to die? Or do you want to live because you are willing to live? That's it. And they go on another page. Every day you will breathe, and every night you will dream. Every morning you will awaken to a life that passes within the seed of each moment. Not one of these moments will ever return, so remember, it is up to you to immerse yourself in them and do so with great courage and enthusiasm. Allow yourself to open every unknown door. Do not ever ask how. Always remember what courage is. Make it work. When you're motivated by even a slight possibility, you can do the impossible. Wow. The soul clothed in spirit and body is healing your circumstances. These circumstances and the people in them are your lessons. Remember to never be ruled by fears, and that your thoughts within each of your moments are the lessons that will either pass or fail you. Now, I share this because it resonates with me so strongly. I've been having real powerful emotions lately around the separation from my romantic partner. And I love her, and I want to be happy for her, and I want to be accepting, and I want to be kind, and I realize that's a choice. I have a lot of powerful, painful emotions around this separation, but I get to choose the story that I tell myself about it, and I get to choose how I respond and react, and so as I was saying, was it yesterday or the day before, about the river of time, I can flail around and cry out and say, this isn't fair, even though it's what I asked for. Or I can, hold myself with some composure and grab a paddle and start steering myself towards the life that I do want, towards the waters that I do want to swim in and be in. And meditation, I think, daily meditation, is that paddle. It's a tool that we can use to keep ourselves afloat down this tumultuous river of time, and yeah. So I would that's why I'm here sharing it with you. I just want to share some tools. Obviously, this is not the only tool, but it's one that works for me, and it's worked for lots of other people, and it's free, and it's easy to do, and it doesn't take very long, so I thought it would be fun to share. Good introduction, so please let me share it with you. I have another book I'd like to highlight here. This one's pretty cool. It's called Loving What Is. 4 Questions That Can Change Your Life by Byron Katie. The revolutionary process called the work. If someone has ever said to you to do the work in a sort of vague way without explaining what that means, perhaps they were referring to this book. So this could be a good place for you to start. I haven't read this book. I have opened it and read a few pages, and the few pages I did read really stood out to me. She was, I'm not sure if she's a psychiatrist, but she was working with children. No, she was working with psychiatrists, I believe. She was working with children who had psychological issues, right? And the one passage that I did read was about, she had a conversation with a little kid who insisted that there was a monster under her bed. And she was very patient and asked the child all these questions about the monster and how it makes her feel, and how she feels when the monster is there and versus when the monster isn't there. And she said, she feels really, really good when the monster isn't there. She's not worried. But when the monster is there, she's very afraid. She's terrified. Now, the monster is sort of like, it's just a metaphor, because we know the monster isn't there. The monster is in the mind. And we create monsters in our mind all the time. We create stories. We don't really know what someone else is thinking or doing, even if they're right in front of our face. And even if they're telling us, it's kind of like we gotta trust them. We don't really know. And we make up lots of stories. And these stories are what we're terrified of. Byron Katie says that it's our thoughts that we're afraid of, and we could change our thoughts. So she helped this kid to talk with the monster and get to know the monster, and it turns out the monster is not such a bad thing. The monster is lonely and wants some attention, wants a friend, wants someone to spend some time with it. So, similarly, our thoughts are not inherently destructive. They just want us to pay attention. Our thoughts are here for a reason. This human experience is a very beautiful experience, and we can invent purpose if we need purpose, and if we don't need purpose, then we don't need to invent a purpose. But I guess the point here is that a lot of times we're just afraid of our own perception. We're not even afraid of reality. We're disconnected from reality. We can't even really know what reality is because we're limited by our senses. You know, a dog hears, sees, and smells differently than we do. So do bees and butterflies and birds and fish. Reality is literally what we make it. It's our perception of reality, right? We're not really seeing what's true. We're seeing it through a filter, through these lenses. And we're also seeing it through the filter and the lens of our mind. Our mind creates stories. So if you're creating a story that's extremely painful, I ask you to sit with it and analyze it and be like, is this true? Is this real? Is this helpful? Right? Is this destroying the fortitude of my mind? Is this destroying my fortress of peace and love and generosity and kindness? Or is it fortifying it? So a helpful tool for me during these tough times is to just, treat my thoughts as they are. They're thoughts. They're transient. They're passing. They're representation. They're symbolic of reality. But if I don't really like them that much, I can choose not to think about them. And I'm not saying, to engage in like wishful or magical thinking, although that's probably not the worst thing in the world. We have rules. Like, there are rules to reality. There's like physics and stuff. You don't want to just jump off your roof thinking you could fly because you're gonna hit the ground. So use your good sense and good judgment, but maybe not entertain some of these super harmful stories that you're telling yourselves. Try to entertain the more hopeful stories, right? Because if it's all just stories anyway, then why not choose a good one instead of a hard one? Okay? That's all I gotta say about that for today. Fortitude. So let's do it. Let's fortify our minds, our hearts, our bodies, our souls, and our spirits with some delightful chanting and meditation. If you've done this with me before, then you know how it goes. Basically, we're going to chant for 12 minutes, and it's a very simple melody. It goes Sa Ta Nama, Sa Ta Nama, just 3 notes. And we do mudras with the chant. Sa Ta Nama, Sa Ta Nama. And as we chant, we visualize golden light entering through the crown of our head and projecting out through the third eye center, gently stimulating all of the little micro organs and glands and regions within our brain, which is the control center of our body, of our mind, of our moods and emotions and imaginations. So we're tapping into this big beautiful brain through the visualization. So we'll do this out loud for 2 minutes, then we'll whisper chant for 2 minutes, then we'll do it all internally for 4 minutes, continuing the mudras, continuing the mantra, continuing the visualization internally. And then we'll come into a whisper chant for 2 minutes, and then we'll chant out loud again for 2 minutes. And then we'll close out the practice with any last words and a brief prayer and another chant. So, I hope you're ready. I hope you're in a comfortable seat, somewhere where you're free from distractions, where you can get into a meditative state. You can do this sitting down, cross-legged, or in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. It's important to have good posture, so lifting from the chest, lifting from the crown of the head, rooting down through your sits bones, Allow the shoulders to come down and back and relaxed. And as you breathe, allow the belly to expand fully, so navel pushing out. And then when you exhale, allow it to contract, so navel coming in towards the spine. This is diaphragmatic breathing. It's going to help to get a good flow of oxygen into your lungs. Okay? I'm going to play some music from Guru Singh. This is Kirtan Kriya. So I have something to show you now. I hope you're feeling well and good after that wonderful Kirtan Kriya. If you're not feeling super wonderful, if you're a little skeptical, you can check out the description box below. There's a link to a peer-reviewed article from the Journal of Alzheimer's that shows that in a randomized controlled 8-week trial that Kirtan Kriya was effective at reversing memory loss and improving objective markers for Alzheimer's disease, as well as subjective markers for not only the patients, but also for their caregivers. So if you didn't quite feel it the first time, I advise you to maybe stick with it, try it a few more times. And if it doesn't resonate with you, look for a different meditation. There's literally thousands of them, so this is just one that I know and like. It's not the only one. Now check this out. Look at these. Can you see them? Yeah, I guess it's hard, huh? Look at these beautiful flowers. These were gifted to me this morning by the tree. It's super duper windy outside, and these flowers, gosh, I'm in the shade, but they're so beautiful. Can you see that? You can. Yeah, and there's like hundreds of them, which is a little sad. If you think about it, it's a little sad because these flowers are ovaries, and you know, each of these flowers could have been a potential seed, and each seed potentially could have been a tree to bloom thousands more flowers and thousands more seeds. I say it's a little sad because, well, wow, they smell delicious. It's a little sad because the flower didn't get to become the seed as it, you know, was trying to, as it intended to. But the tree is resilient. The tree is strong. The tree will bloom year after year after year. It's not banking on just one flower or one season to make seeds. And you know, right now the conditions were just not right for the seed to be born. It's a little cold and it's a little windy at this time of year. We've had some fluctuations in the weather, and so these flowers began to bloom, but then the harsh conditions, they said now is not the right time, and now the flower does not get to bear fruit. I can draw a parallel between some political issues that are happening right now. And if you know what I'm talking about, then I invite you to just take a look at nature and see how nature changes its plans all the time, right? Nature tries and fails, but it never gives up. Keeps trying till it succeeds. And we don't criticize nature when something like this happens, right? When the flower fails to bear fruit, when the flower falls off the tree before it becomes a seed. So look to nature for inspiration and hope. Look to nature for the example. Be resilient and fortify your heart and your mind, and be loving and kind towards others. Don't let your own viewpoint cloud your judgment and make you believe that you have the right to tell other people what to do and to cause harm to them. Alright, that's all I'll say about that for now. Thank you. Okay, so we'll close out today's chant with the long time sunshine. Oh, but before we do that, I want to dedicate this practice to all the people who are suffering right now, whose lives have been torn apart by war. I pray that we learn to live in harmony with one another, and that we stop war, we stop producing bombs and ammunition and weapons designed to kill each other. And instead we focus our energy on developing technology. Instead of weaponry, I've heard a man call it livingry, right? Let's learn how to work with the seasons on this planet. Let's learn how to live in harmony with our ecosystem, our environment, with the plants, the animals, the birds, the fungi, the bacteria. All organisms deserve our respect and understanding. And this earth is extremely abundant. There's more resources than we could ever use if we use them responsibly. And if we continue down this path of destruction, then we won't have a planet left for future generations. And it's my belief that all of this destruction is born out of a few things: ignorance, greed, and hatred. So if we can learn to temper those things in our hearts and our minds, then hopefully the world will be a better place, and we can all live in safety, peace, and abundance. So please stop the war, all wars, not just the one in Ukraine. Whatever war is popular to you, my heart goes out to them as well. Okay? I think that all killing is wrong. If you believe in Jesus or any of the other great sages over time, they will tell you that that's not the answer, that you're supposed to love your enemy like you love yourself, or like you love God, right? And don't kill each other. I think that's like the first commandment. I don't know. Christianity is interesting to me, but I could definitely stand to use some more time studying it. Okay. So my heart goes out to you, all the people, and not just suffering from war, but also from climate change, from habitat loss, from drought, and from famine. Let's make the world a beautiful place. Going off yesterday's theme, let's collaborate together, right? Let's be the change we want to see in the world. We'll start by cultivating peace in our own hearts, and then hopefully that spreads like a wildfire. It ignites the hearts of others, and then we can band together, and we can say no, that we don't want to destroy each other anymore. Okay? Let's close out today's practice. Let's fortify our minds so that we can face adversity and challenges with courage, so that when presented with war and hatred and killing, we're not ruled by our fears. Instead, we can be centered in our heart space, knowing that our soul is immutable, and that this body may die, may be tortured, like Jesus, his body was tortured and killed, but the soul cannot be. The soul transcends the physical body. So there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear about death. We should respect this human life. It is very precious. However, we should not be ruled by our fears. We should not allow our emotions to become our master, and we should not be a slave to our emotions. We should live in our heart space. We should speak our truth. We should be who we want to be. All right. Get into your meditative position. Rub the hands together. Create a little awareness between the left and right side of your body. Hands at heart center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, side out. We'll do another one just like that. Deep breath in, push the belly out. Exhale, side out. And we'll inhale to chant. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Do another deep inhale. Exhale completely, side out. Push the navel towards the spine. We'll inhale, chant. Satnam. Namaste. Oh, goodness. Alright, have a beautiful day, and as usual, questions, comments, concerns, counter arguments, I'd love to hear them. Drop them in the comments, or just call me on my phone, or send me a DM.